question.
So welcome to this session, Crypto's Future in the Metaverse and Beyond. Is it bull or bear? So let me introduce myself quickly. My name is Rudy Shushani. I have 22 years experience in the technology field, and I'm really glad to be part of this conference today. So my background is in ICT governance, cybersecurity, financial technologies, blockchain, and digital transformation. You can reach me out at Rudy Shushani at all of the social media. But first thing is first, let's try to understand what is the Web 3.0. So today we are using the Web 2.0, and we will continue to do so for some time. Even though many applications have started, but with the advances of NFTs and cryptocurrencies, we are on the cusp of a new era of internet. Right now, all of the data on the internet is owned by third-party organizations. For example, the famous tweet from Donald Trump that was deleted by Twitter, since they have access to it. The new and improved Web3 aims to make the internet more open source. It will allow all of the data, images, GIFs, real music to be owned by the community. This will minimize hacking, data leaks, and censorship. So Web3 is the third version of the iteration of the internet. It's a collection of ideologies and principles that make the internet data accessible to users and creators. It is the core concept driving the third iteration of the web: decentralization, transparency, and user ability. So first, let's start by decentralization. As we see in the graph, this is the main feature of Web 3.0. The whole internet will be decentralized. Right now, it is built on databases and applications that are hosted on centralized servers. Look at Facebook, for example, and all of its data on a central Facebook server, which is owned by a central single organization. But the Web3, the apps will be hosted on a blockchain and decentralized data networks. And all of these will be based on peer-to-peer or servers as called as decentralized apps or DApps. There will be no single authority that has control who can access those apps or the data in it. The second element is trustless and permissionless. Blockchain is a huge aspect of Web 3.0 and the Metaverse. Developers are using blockchain to create an open, transparent data stores, which will usher the third generation of the internet. With blockchain, all of the data and transactions that take place in a secure and transparent, and the copies of the data will be on each system and on a decentralized network. So anyone will be able to access and not modify, and you may not be required to immediately access or authorize yourself. There will be no single authority that can obstruct data or have any bias. All data will be secured by a network and is available to all without requiring any permission. Thus, the data will be trustless and immutable. The third pillar of Web 3.0, which is connectivity and ubiquity, Web 3.0 will be more connective and ubiquitous, meaning the web will be everywhere. Smart devices will keep the people constantly connected and accessible to the internet. And this is where the possibilities of Internet of Things and IoT, giving us smartwatches, driverless cars, but with Web 3.0 aim to connect everyone across the world without even any software or hardware limitation. Last part is the semantic web, and that was the dream of the creator of the web. So according to Tim Berners, this is what he dreamt of. That was to understand the human language, computer would be able to process the context, the emotions, the implication of the slang that makes up our language, our human language. Web3 is poised to democratize the internet with underlying blockchain technologies by removing those intermediaries and allowing users to interact without compromising data and privacy. So let's look at Web 1.0 versus 2.0 versus 3.0. If you look at the Web 1.0, it was created in the early 1990s, which was really mainly for research and scientists, with some development of some browsers, and this is where it was born. But most importantly, it was authenticated by username and password. And this was between the early 1990s and 2004. Now, if we look at Web 2.0, where it started emerging in 2004 and 2005, which we are still using it today, this is the emergence of websites such as Google, Amazon, and Facebook, where the internet became more interactive and social. People started exchanging stories, creating content, and going live, and actually connecting people across the world. And soon the development of smartphones and tablets, mobile internet was available for everyone, and now the internet was a full user-generated content. Anyone could share anything because the internet has become really easy. That was possible due to the centralization of data. Earlier, during the time of 1.0, the web was stored on a personal file system. So now we jump to the third part, which is the Web 3.0, which doesn't require any permission, which means that center authorities don't get to decide who gets access to what service. Nor does require trust, meaning that the intermediary isn't necessary for virtual transaction to occur between the two parties. Web 3.0 is also, as we mentioned before, the semantic web, or read, write, and execute. In the era of 2010 onwards, that eluded the web future. Artificial intelligence and machine learning enable the computers to analyze in the same way the humans do, which aid the intelligence and disruption of valuable content according to user specific. So there's few distinctions between Web 2.
ก็ยังมีความแตกต่างระหว่างเว็บ1เว็บ2นะคะแต่ว่า decentralization เนี่ยเป็นลักษณะเฉพาะเลยของเว็บ3นะฮะในการที่จะเก็บข้อมูลต่างๆนั่นก็คือมีการใช้ single cloud นะคะเป็นหลักเลยนะสำหรับเว็บ3เนี่ยเราก็มีเรื่องของ blockchain เข้ามามี decentralized network เข้ามานะครับแล้วก็มีระบบ hybrid นะฮะหรือแบบผสมผสานสำหรับทั้ง2แบบเข้ามานะฮะโปรแกรมที่ใช้นะฮะอย่างที่บอกไปก็คือเราใช้โคลนใช้แอป decentralized application นะครับอันนี้เป็น
centralized versus decentralized web, where you see on the centralized web, it is about a database server where everybody connects on. Where on the decentralized web, you can see the server is scattered and the data is scattered, so it can connect to any point of those databases or servers at any point of time, and they have all the same data. If you have kids between 7 and 14, probably your kids are already in the metaverse, even if it is 2D version such as Roblox. If you ever played Fortnite or PUBG, this is one of a kind of a metaverse, and they are adopting it to be a fully immersed one and give users the power of ownership and decentralization which didn't exist before. And that is the power that is being built with Web 3. Let's watch this movie to understand more what is Metaverse.
What actually is the Metaverse? Well, if we think of the internet as something that we look at, the Metaverse is a version of the internet that we're inside. The idea is that we will experience experience the metaverse as an avatar, a virtual version of ourselves that we control as we explore this new online frontier. But what will we actually do? Okay, so Boz, here we are in what might be considered a representation of what the metaverse could be.
Yeah, for us the metaverse is a spatial construct as opposed to the previous web, which was really a very linear kind of 2D flat thing. We want this one to be immersive. Now, of course, it doesn't mean it has to be virtual reality. It could also just be on a phone or on a desktop computer.
You might have noticed that we're using the tools of the metaverse to create a good portion of this item. My avatar has been created by a couple of companies, Ready Player Me and Oz. They already create tools for people to make avatars from a photo. It's this virtual version of us which will travel between online experiences in any metaverse.
And then over time, what I'm most excited about is an economy there. And I mean, economy not just of digital goods, sure, and entertainment, that's great, but also services. In an immersive environment, I'm going to have an avatar. I'm going to need a stylist. I'm going to have a home space.
Microsoft has adapted its workplace meeting software, Teams, for the metaverse by creating a system called Mesh. It's designed to work with a variety of different devices, including virtual and augmented reality. AR, as it's known, projects graphics on top of the real world using headsets like Microsoft's HoloLens or mobile phones. There's quite a few people that have got fatigued by having to have video chat meetings and things of that nature, and that they realise they now crave human contact.
Human communication is about 5%, speech is about 95% everything else. I've been in my living room with the entire team around the table, right? Making eye contact, where all the gestures are coming into the right place. So it changes completely the call it the screen fatigue we're feeling today.
The next piece of the metaverse puzzle isn't just about seeing these virtual worlds, but feeling them as well. Meta has revealed that it's been working on a glove that will let the user feel sensations, like holding an object. The glove has a number of sensors that measure the wearer's movements, and air pockets across the glove surface inflate to create sensation. These gloves aren't quite ready for prime time yet, but they're an indicator of the kind of research that's going on behind the scenes.
So Metaverse is actually a world with no borders. So what do we need to reach Web 3.0 and the Metaverse? If we look at this graph, we're going to be seeing as a total web stack is where the industry infrastructure and developers are really working towards bringing this. On the use cases, you can see it, was it on gaming, content, NFTs, financial services, or DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization. On the axis, it's about wallets and browsers and Web3 browsers. Aggregators, of course. On the infrastructure side, the security, identity, the storage, the development tools, data analytics, governance, and transactions, which is buying, selling, borrowing. And last, as the protocol of layer 1, which is an underlying blockchain architecture, and the bridge, so you can jump from one blockchain or to another, or you can bridge certain transactions, or also on the metaverse, bridging from to. So what's the state of Web3 today? It's really expanding familiarity of cryptocurrencies. Institutional adoption is driving more and more. Gaming and NFTs and metaverse galvanizing crypto as a mainstream. Burgeoning DeFi protocols and decentralized autonomous systems, and imminent regulations that are coming left and right, and building for Web 3.0. We need more developers to enter the space. Let's look at the Web3 stack. On the decentralization app, we're talking about DeFi, identity authorization, NFTs, data, and you can see, was it NFTs, for example, OpenSea providers, identity, and also on DeFi, such as Ava, Avalanche, or many other things. On the presentation side, Web3 native libraries, Alchemy, development environment, and file storage. On the blockchain interaction layers, solutions for data access, solutions for block explorer. Network layer was it the Ethereum, such as EVM blockchain, and non-EVM blockchain that could be something like Solana. Metaverse is worth around 8 to 13 trillion, but currently lack the infrastructure. While experts are predicting it will take up to 10 years before the metaverse starts to become a reality in terms of as we want it to be, the consensus is that it will develop gradually rather than a full launch all at once. And we are really seeing it on every day. And this is where the infrastructure must be developed and the legislation also must be helping towards this. So, on the infrastructure side, we need many elements to be developed, such as virtual reality, so you can actually venture into the metaverse and understand more. Technology and investment so far has been put a lot in this space, but we need more innovation. We need more advancements in those infrastructures so it can become maybe lighter, maybe closer to the eye, maybe lenses, maybe something else. Because the way it is currently now, it is too hefty and too bulk. Secondly, 3D engines. The metaverse, as we know it, if it doesn't have a 3D real engine, it is not the best visualization. I'm sure you have seen Facebook virtual or metaverse, where also you have the person cut in half, not the best representation. I don't think anybody wants to have, talking to half a guy or half a girl in front of him. So we need really to develop those 3D engines, and with that, of course, we're going to be talking more later about the internet and availability of the internet and the power of the internet, because it's going to be playing a big role in this. And we're talking about 10 years from now. 5G technologies. So 5G, it means low latency and faster downloads, faster reach. So that could really empower the metaverse. And now we started even talking about 6G, which is even faster, and it's focused about the person. Which brings us to the fourth element, which is digital twin. So imagine 5G or 6G with digital twin, which is a virtual representation that serves as the real-time digital counterpart of our physical object or process. A digital twin is an exact virtual representation of a physical object in a virtual world. So we really need to develop all of those, and most importantly, the metaverse bionics. How do we feel inside? How do we touch? How do we smell? So we can bridge the world of the metaverse into some sort of a reality where we will be living in. Now, the Web3 and the metaverse promise to be a hive of economics activity. But how will it be legislated? How will the virtual world be taxed in a real world? And this is where we need the laws. Much of the applications of existing laws, as well potential creation of new laws in the metaverse, remain unknown. In some cases, existing legal schemes may completely apply. In other cases, law makes an awkward fit, and courts may be tasked with novel issues of applications to new technology. We are still, as other cases, existing laws may prove insufficient to adapt or to address problematic conduct, which might trigger passage of new laws and regulations, which we started seeing harassment laws in the metaverse. And even, having a blocking 1 meter away or diameter of 1 meter that avatars today cannot approach each other. The scope of all laws and regulations that can and might be implicated in the metaverse is practically unbounded and might be generate innumerable legal issues. Trading is the first legislation that needs to be established. The guidelines for the metaverse trading activities for digital stores, galleries, and venues. Intellectual property. How will intellectual property inside the metaverse be assigned, be identified? How will it be affected? Intellectual property dispute will almost certainly feature prominent among those legal issues. Indeed, the metaverse and other Web3 projects have already seen a number of IPs disputes arise. In June 2021, record label Rockefeller sued one of its founders, Damon Dash, seeking to rejoin him from auction as an NFT of cover of Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Maybe also we've seen in some of the NFTs such as Nike, Balenciaga and others where they are also being legally suing other NFT creators because they utilize their brand. Tax, similarly, when such assets are purchased and sold, they might be subject to various taxes, including income and sales tax. The IRS, for example, the US Internal Revenue Services, and maybe in your local country, has issued guidance clarifying that cryptocurrencies constitute property, the profit from which is taxable. Privacy and cybersecurity. The two other emerging issues concerning metaverse projects include privacy and cybersecurity. Privacy impacts activities concerning personal data, including processing activities such as the collection, use, and transmission of personal data. Metaverse project may collect a variety of personal data from users, which can range from basic identification of information to information about movement and activities in the metaverse. So what's the future of Web3 and the metaverse? There's still significant innovative work to be done in order to accomplish the idea of decentralization in Web3. Having said that, Web2 did not appear overnight. It's a span of almost 30 years. It has advantages from an economy of information to platform, economy of tokens, and the next natural step in evolution. A journey from Web 2.0 to 3.0 is going to be a progressive result of innovation. In the long run, it will be evident which technology and business strategies are superior. And finally, we will live on a new planet. For early investors, there are opportunities in contrast to Web 1 and Web 2, where most entrepreneurs and ventures funders benefited. Web 3 benefits everyone more directly. Every entrepreneur, every single person can be part of it. As such, Web 3 is a vital instrument for achieving greater financial independence for all. So how does the crypto drive the technology and innovation in the future? We really must question that. When smartphones were introduced, nobody could anticipate that one day we will be navigating using Google Maps. Imagine Google Maps, for example, if you go back 20 years ago, it was something super expensive to be able to navigate. Streaming music on Spotify or making money through content creation. Or, for example, using such as Skype or Zoom. 10 years ago, you needed maybe an investment to create one cross-border video conference call, maybe around $200,000 of equipment with a good internet. Fast forward 10 years, it's actually decommercialized. It costs you zero. Google Meet is offering all of its platforms for free. Same thing with WebEx. So times has changed and innovation has changed, and this is where we need now the innovation in the blockchain industry to equally surprising and rapid growth. Blockchain technologies enable new way of organization economic activity, reduce cost, time associated with intermediaries, and strengthen the trust in an ecosystem. All business will be impacted, and they have to change their business model. We just witnessed the NFT revolution, but actually more to come. If we look at the banking and payments, where actually things are really changing, a lot of competition is happening in the banking space, where now they're realizing the value of blockchain and crypto and CBDCs, central bank digital coins, where they want to tap now into how they can implement them in their own organization to try to be innovative and of course secure their future in the innovation and technology. Otherwise, they will be disrupted. We need innovation in the government. How governments are actually allowing or deploying blockchain technology so it can support the future innovation in the Web3 and in the Metaverse. If we look at UAE in specific and Dubai in general and Dubai in specific, we look at how much of their innovation was put in the strategy 2021 Digital Dubai, where 50% of their innovation was put into blockchain. And look at their regulation lately, how much regulation they have issued so that they can enable more investments to come to the country as a safe place for people to invest for crypto and for building Web3 and Metaverse. A lot of technology and investments was put towards this. On the healthcare perspective, this is where we're going to be seeing also a lot of innovation that is happening, which was triggered directly. It was happening before COVID, but it was triggered even on a faster scale once COVID hit, because the advancements of the health tech is now on another scale. Was it from telemedicine and so on? And this needs to be empowered by blockchain. Imagine innovation of health tech inside the metaverse, where you can go and visit your doctor inside a metaverse, and he can have everything he wants directly, maybe from a special health or technological health tech device that you put on your glasses or on your face, and it can read everything you want. We've seen them in science fiction, but today they are becoming a reality. Last but not least is blockchain identity for all, which is, you might call it, your wallet address, or today we started hearing about the ENS, which is a representation of your wallet address in a simplified naming convention. So a lot of innovation is bound to happen on the identity, because this is where centralization of identity will happen. This is where you will be identified and possibly, interact in the Web3 and the Metaverse. Rentals and ride sharing also, there will be a lot of innovation in that space. Was it from Metaverse or was it from a physical aspect to bridge the Metaverse to a physical layer? Cross-border payments, disruption on a global scale is also a great initiative to be working on, not just for the banks, but also as far as solutions where today you want to pay inside the Metaverse, how you're going to be paying, how you're going to be transacting, how you're going to be actually, working. So we reach the final slide. Are you bear or bull for the future? Which one are you? How are you going to decide? Which side are you going to take? And where you're going to take your decision to be involved in the future of the Metaverse and Web 3.0. With that, I come to the end of this. Thank you all for staying with me. I would love to hear from you any other questions, I'm always available and all of the social media and at Rudy at DX Talks to take your questions further if you have any more information to ask. Thank you a lot.
All right, thank you once again, Mr. Rudy Shoshani, for your excellent presentation.